We'll
Good
go
question.
there, but we are going to start with the latest with the Patriots. Antonio Brown had his first practice in New England yesterday. Keep in mind, this is after sexual assault allegations came out against the receiver 2 days ago, which Brown has since denied. It left Tom Brady and Bill Belichick facing many questions, as expected, from reporters about how they plan to handle the situation. Take a listen.
I'm just trying to show up and play football and try to prepare. Miami's a good team. I'm going to get ready for them, and things that don't involve me.
I'm not going to be expanding on the statements that have already been given. When we know more, we'll say more. We're taking it one day at a time, just like we always do. I appreciate all the questions, and that's what's been said has been said. Yeah, I mean, I'm done with that. Okay? Anything else on Miami? Any other questions?
Can you explain what you mean when you're done with it? I mean, we're just trying to find out if he said anything to you about his position and about the allegation.
Yeah, and I just answered that question.
Well, actually, you did.
Actually, I did.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
All right, so
Actually,
Skip.
He didn't.
Actually, not so much. In your opinion, what should happen next?
Jenny and Shannon, this is what I'd like to see happen next. I'm not saying that it will happen next, but I would like to see Robert Kraft, for once, step up and I think do the right thing, which is just to say enough. Obviously, the New England Patriots under Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick have had a long history of winning with troubled players, players that other teams would not have even considered.
Correct.
Obviously, Robert Kraft did have his own indiscretion off the field. And
Whatever happened with that?
I don't know, it just went
Or went
away.
away up? Did it ever happen? I don't even know if it really happened.
It did happen, but the videotape was not deemed permissible.
But what they got to do with the NFL, though?
Okay, whatever.
We talk about that
Okay,
later.
we'll
We'll
talk
get
about
that one later.
So, given all that backdrop, I would like Robert Kraft just to step up and say, we have decided to part ways with Antonio Brown. And in no way would I say that they would be suggesting or implying or concluding that Antonio is guilty of the allegations in the current lawsuit pending against him. But as Jarrett Bell points out, our friend from USA Today, in today's USA Today, if the Patriots were not aware of this coming lawsuit, that they would now have every right to cut bait and void the $9 million that they've guaranteed him while sending Brown packing in the name of bad faith negotiating. If you look at the language, the guarantee language in the contract, it's very clear that if in any way Antonio puts the organization in a bad light, that they can get out from under the guaranteed money. And I think they could prove that this at least puts them in a bad light, because we just saw the coach and the quarterback all but squirming in front of the media under the intense scrutiny that now the NFL world has cast upon that organization over, okay, now what are you going to do?
Right.
You're going to play him on Sunday or not? And at the very least, you would have to conclude this is a distraction for a team that tries so hard to avoid any and all internal distractions. So to me, you have to look at the bigger picture of this team is coming off the most impressive opening day win of any team. They dismantled a conference rival, a conference threat, the Pittsburgh Steelers, 33-3. To me, as I said Monday, it was as impressive a big stage regular season win on both sides of the ball as I have ever seen from the Brady-Belichick Patriots.
Okay.
So you have that going for you. Why do you even need to add this? Because I'm here to say they don't need Antonio Brown. Would he make them better? That's a whole nother question. I'm leaning toward not. But obviously, off what you just saw Sunday night, it's not like they desperately need him.
No.
Okay, so to me, this is going to come down to an internal clash between Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick. And again, it concerns the fate and future of one Tom Brady, because this is my 2 cents from a distance. That obviously Bill Belichick is now on a mission to prove he can win a Super Bowl without Tom Brady. We saw it back 2 years ago when the big ESPN report that he wanted to go forward with Jimmy Garoppolo last season and just part ways with Tom Brady. I don't know if that means they would try to trade him or just release him and let him pick his final destination in the league, right? But Robert Kraft reportedly intervened and said no.
Right.
No, we will trade Jimmy G. We will not trade or let go Tom Brady. And I think that was the right move because they did happen to go on to 2 Super Bowls and they won one of them.
Right.
Okay. So to me, it's now clear from the preseason that Bill Belichick wants he's just driven to go forward with Jared Stidham because he was getting him ready in the preseason to be not only the backup to me, but the 1A, the one who's positioned to be the next Jimmy G. Okay, so I get what Belichick is doing here. He doesn't care so much about Antonio Brown for now, but for next year and the next year. And he's got him on the cheap even for next year, right?
Right, they have a $20 million option, which you and I both know he will not play under that option. He'll get a contract. It will be they'll put it maybe 2 or 3 years.
But they want to make sure they can have him.
They have him, correct.
Okay? All right. So Belichick is looking as much to the next year and the next as he is to this year. In fact, I could argue that he cares more about the next 2 years than he cares about this one because they've won 3 of the last 4 Super Bowls.
Right.
So if they win this one, it's almost to Belichick like gravy, and it's okay. But if they win this one, it makes it even harder on Belichick to make his all-time case as I was more valuable than my quarterback.
Right.
But with AB and Jared Stidham going forward, if he could win one more, then you would have a strong case to say, wait a second, it was the coach more than the quarterback.
Right.
So I get that. But when I'm looking at just this year, this team's fate, the best interest of this team and the best interest image-wise for this organization, it's time to cut bait right now with Antonio Brown. Even though others, Jarrett Bell, Christine Brennan, USA Today, they're advocating for the exempt list.
Right.
Just put him on ice, so to speak, on the exempt list. My problem with that is, for how long? Because the NFL then needs to do its due diligence, do its research, to investigate.
For however how long it takes to
Okay, but how long could that take? A year? I don't know. These things are very complex, right?
Well, I guess the way it's being broached, Skip, is that she's going to talk. I guess she's getting married, and she's going to talk at some point next week. I guess she's getting married this weekend, and she will talk to them. So,
okay, that's to the NFL. Right. Okay.
Skip, Jenny asked, okay, what should happen? What should happen and what will happen are 2 different things. Now, considering that she's not going to talk until next week, Antonio Brown, if he can learn to pick up any parts of this offense, will be playing on Sunday. This is what we know about the New England Patriots. They value winning over all else. If there's a lion that has mauled a village and he can score a touchdown or get to the quarterback a tackle, Skip, the Patriots will sign him because winning is a place above all else. Skip, you remember how Spygate came to be? The NFL sent out a memo to all 32 teams. If you are videotaping defensive signals from the sidelines, cease immediately. You can move to an elevated perch, be it 200 feet away, but you just can't do it from the sideline. Okay. And what did Coach Belichick do? Forget you. I'm Bill Belichick. I'm going to do what I want to do. The way he got busted, his lieutenant, who was a coach at the Jets, said, Bill, I know what you do.
No, he called him the week before and said, Bill, just don't do it to me. I know.
I know what you do. That thing that you do, Bill.
Yeah.
Just do it to everybody else, but don't do it to your boy.
No.
He said, F you, I will do it to you.
And you know what your boy did?
He turned him in. So it just goes to show you, Skip, they're going to do what they feel is in the best interest of them.
Okay.
And he feels that signing Antonio Brown gives them an even more, because they're a great team. They look unbelievable, minus Antonio Brown on Sunday. Antonio Brown just I believe Antonio Brown can make them the 2007 Patriots. He can make them, Skip, the 2012, I think it was 2012, Denver Broncos, 13 Broncos. That prolific of an offense, because he's that special. Skip, the Pittsburgh Steelers would have never tolerated Antonio Brown for as long as they did if he couldn't produce the numbers in which he produced. The Raiders, at the moment, if he was just a guy, and he was behaving the way he was behaving from day one, they'd have been cut bait. They gave him every opportunity. And teams will give you more and more leeway the greater and greater your talent is. So Coach Belichick understands what he has. If he can just harness it, there's no question in my mind that the Patriots offense are almost unguardable. Now, it's a long season. Anything can happen, an injury here, injury there.
Okay.
But that withstanding, Skip. So for me, he's playing. Now, we touched on it a little earlier. Mr. Kraft has his own issues. So I don't believe he's going to take the moral high ground and says, okay, because guess what? He didn't step down when this thing was swirling around him. He didn't say, you know what? I'm going to turn this thing over until it's resolved. I'm going to turn it over to Jonathan.
I got you, but I can say, I can make the case it'd be a good look if he did take moral high ground.
Yeah.
Right?
How? When he didn't take it up with himself.
Well, maybe it's time to make amends. Wouldn't that look like, well, maybe I'm doing the right thing for once, as I opened with my first comment, for once?
Yeah. He loves those Lombardis, and he's been stacking them over the last 20 years. No, that's not what they're going to do. Listen, we keep hearing this. There's some things that are more important than football, not in New England. That been gone out the window long time ago. Winning is the most important thing there.
Can I jump in and make a point that Jarrett Bell made in his piece today in USA Today? That back in 1996, when Myra Kraft was alive, wife of Robert Kraft, that the Patriots became the first team in NFL history to relinquish their rights to a draft pick when they cut ties with fifth-round defensive tackle Christian Peter days after his selection, when Kraft's late wife Myra demanded as much upon learning he had been convicted of sexual assault.
Wow.
So Myra stepped up and said, no, we're just going to say no. We're out. Okay, well, so she set an early tone. That's a long time ago, but that tone did not reverberate down